I will only request that whoever wants to speak may raise hand, and we'll have one person speaking at one time. So over to.
Yeah, good afternoon. Actually, the need has arisen because of our capacity restraint, which we have been observing for the last almost 3 to 4 months. The requirement of bottles, because the machine capacity restraints have restricted ourselves. The order intake has been, we have restricted the order intake.
Thanks, Mr. Hammer. Yeah, as stated, we did an analysis as to how this incremental investment is going to look financially. The investment of 15 crores, what we are envisaging, it will generate a marginal revenue of 5 rupees per bottle. And considering the OPEX cost and the depreciation cost of the machinery, the marginal cost increase per unit will be around 4 rupees. So it will give us incremental revenue of ₹1.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Haridhar. One question is, you mentioned we have been losing revenue for the last 3 or 4 months. In a way, the demand is overshadowing the supply, right? Which is a great decision to have in a way. But how this demand came about suddenly in the last 4 months? Why are we getting this spike? Is it any major deal that we acquired? Is it anything in the market that changed?
Basically, it's market improvement, and one of the competitors' capacity also there is a problem in IR problem in that with competition.
And I just wanted to bring the few points that we just recently discussed. Just to add, we did a little survey also.
Correct.
And what we are finding is that as the middle income group is increasing, the demand is going to continue to increase on a perpetual basis.
Okay.
So that's one of the key reasons that we feel it's the right time.
Maybe yeah, sure. Thank you. I really appreciate the proposal that is being tabled out here. I had the data. Would seek some more clarity on that. While it is today, we are having almost at 3-shift basis. If I understand, we are making almost 36 million bottles a year. And what we are proposing, this machine, if it's at a 200 BPM, will be making another 72 million bottles a year.
Buying of the machine from the German make itself, can we go back to the same manufacturer?
Or a buyback kind of a thing?
We actually tested that, and I think it's the way we looked at the data. We tested both the machines, and we went to those facilities and did a comparison. Somehow the German machine, from a cost perspective, they are almost asking us to double the price of the Swiss. So it's a significant cost differential.
Newer machine, it's much more easily interfaced to our ERP system, and the whole thing becomes seamless. When the whole German machine, they do the whole thing manually. So it's quite a lot of effort is involved in integrated assembly line into the system, in the new ERP system we've got, and the new machine is interfaced easily with that.
Not financial aspect, but on the people side of it. Is it going to have a upstream, downstream impact using this machine on human resources that we have?
Not
Is it going to capacity increase just, or it's going to also have impact on how many people do we need?
So we are not currently foreseeing people differentials, but skill and training upgradation would be needed, which will be the part of the agreement that we are having with the manufacturers.
All relook and revalidate with respect to the increased proposed market share. The market share which is expected to go up, just have a relook. And if it's pretty confident about it, we go ahead with this.
I think our head of business development could explain, but there are macroeconomic factors in the country as well as in our particular customer segments. A combination of these have led us to it. Maybe you can.
In fact, there are 3 prevailing market trends which we must look at it, and we have already done a lot of research on that. Number one, there are many other competitors are entering into the market, and they are going to bring different premium products into the market.
I have something to say about 6 months payback. Whether you have worked on the market scenario, whether the market is good for 6 months payment, what is your payment from the local market, whether you get in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, how one can say 6 months payback of this big issue?
I just want to bring certain facts to everyone's knowledge. That this strategy of getting towards the Swiss make machine as per our the vision and the organization strategy, where it is already linked, because in the past when we are having the customer focused strategy, we could find that there is some kind of customer complaints which are coming up, and we could
location, and we have the enough space on the shop floor to extend it, and it will not come in the way of the safety or anything.
Very good point, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. So we have the completely, as I said, operations management which is put in place. So we have looked at the additional space which we have. So there's a complete new setup. There's a complete separate line, and this also comes with the very the modern way of handling.
Especially, I would like to thank our independent directors for really taking time out of your schedule and investing your time here with all of us. Congratulations to the entire board. We've really established a brand presence as we had wanted to do that. We have grown. We have demonstrated in the last quarter that our market share is improving. Presence is better. Revenues are looking good. So we are all feeling optimistic and buoyant about the way the business is looking.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to discuss this very premium agenda today. The airline sectors are growing. The economy in Indian context is booming. The younger generation is taking every next flight out for education, for vacation. The sector is growing at more than 25 to 27% quarter on quarter.
This question of acquiring, and have you considered the fact that no marriage of a premium brand and low cost has ever worked out in our Indian scenario? When you see all the history, it doesn't seem to have worked out.
Just to, sir, can I?
Yeah.
Our business development team and our technical team, we did analyze as to the synergy between premium brand acquiring a low-cost brand. There were a lot of debates within us whether our brand value will go down or not. But even though it was a bit inconclusive, we are of the opinion it could be more of a financial decision rather than a very core strategic decision.
Were not being covered, and the people are really going to the remote routes and all. There is one aspect that we can start that, plus the efficiency. This is a service industry, after all. We are into the service industry. The more efficient service we give, the more connectivity we give, and the more we get the business out of it, the more.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. I think generally we are agreeing that it is right time to look at the
Some
expansion.
form of expansion.
Yes.
We haven't yet agreed on
Because we are talking about smart cities, we are talking about market. So I think generally we look to be on the same page. The key questions here are, one, when we are looking at two brands, or low cost versus full brand, premium brand, how much of the segmentation we are expanding which is not overlapping, and how much segment actually overlaps?
Or to lease.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely. That's the
then-
primary.
yeah.
But we open the floor for debate. Mr.
Yeah, I think what we are looking at is a key index or key parameter. That is, what is the lifelong cost, including maintenance, for lease versus acquire?
100%. Mr. Hariharan said that we have to first identify which option to go for, and then all the points discussed will be applicable to both the options. However, two aspects are going to remain common, and one is the emission levels. Please mind that the emission levels of all low-cost airlines available in India, if we are trying to acquire, they are higher than our.
Have any known consultant in mind which you would like us to consider? We have 2 or 3 consultants who would like to approach.
Why don't we name our 3 consultants and let them choose between
Price Waterhouse, we want to talk to them, and we want to hire one global consultant.
See, I would put 2
First
suggestions.
name.
One suggestion is it would be one of the top 4. And the one that we select for this particular should not have worked for us in the last 3 years.